Man, what does Hollywood Brown wanting out of Baltimore say about his star quarterback and former unanimous MVP Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, this is all bad for all in purple. I think there are three reasons. I'm going to call it 3 and a B. I got a bonus one as well, but 3 things it says. First thing is this system sucks in Baltimore. Okay? Second thing is, hey, Lamar Jackson, you my dog. I love you. We're going to talk about that when people say they love you and then they try to drop something on you. Lamar Jackson, I love you, but guess what? You're not good enough to overcome that system that sucks. That's number 2. And the third thing is, since they're questioning if Greg Roman is a competent offensive coordinator in the passing game, and they're still questioning Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position, the last thing I'm going to do is sit here and let them question, should I get paid as a top receiver in this league? So I got to dip. Now, here's the bonus of it all, because it tells me something about you, Hollywood Brown, too. I want to remind my man that everywhere you go, there you are. So you trying to run from this problem that you guys couldn't overcome together, and you want to go run back home to your college quarterback to help make you, may not be the best solution for you in this moment. I can see why he wanted to go, though. I got to respect this part. This is a dude that runs a 4.3, and last year was out there 11 yards per catch, 80th in the NFL, worst of his career so far. He's looking at all of the things trending in Baltimore in terms of the passing game as going down, even though Lamar Jackson was on pace to have some career numbers in certain categories if he would have stayed healthy. My bigger point is about their relationship, but I'm going to hold that one and tease that one until I hear what my dog is going to blast with.
Keep that one in the back pocket, because let me come out the gate with this one. Hollywood Brown wanting out is total and complete condemnation on Lamar Jackson and his ability to grow in the NFL. Why do I say that? To be great in the National Football League, and take it from someone who was never, thus I have to understand what it was like to be great. To be great in the National Football League, you have to master the art of the pivot. Okay. I played with several great players, and I know several other that are even greater. And you have to be able to master the art of the pivot. Dwight Freeney had a spin move, but boy, did he have a speed.
Yeah.
Von Miller had an up and under, but boy, could he just beat you with a straight dip. Talk to Reggie Bush about it, and Reggie Bush will tell you that, yeah, some of his greatest moves were his electrifying speed, but he also knew he had to try to run you over the first play or the first quarter of the game. Because if I can run you over, then I can do anything to you. If I have power first, then I can beat you with my speed and with my moves. To be great in the NFL, you got to master the art of the pivot. Lamar Jackson will never be able to master the art of the pivot if Greg Roman, coupled with Lamar Jackson, are running top-flight receivers out of Baltimore. Think about when Lamar Jackson was at his best. Lamar Jackson was not the first pick of his draft class by Baltimore. There was a tight end by the name of Hayden Hurst. Then later on in that same class, there was another tight end, third round, by the name of Mark Andrews. The Baltimore Ravens killed their opponents between the hashes. Tight ends, hand it off. Tight ends, hand it off. Tight ends, shot. That's how the Ravens won.
Thanks.
The Ravens are trying to get back to that. If y'all were not aware, Ravens drafted 2 tight ends in this past draft, both in the 4th round. So as the Ravens have seen Lamar Jackson statistically decline, please throw it up there so you all can see it. As the Ravens have seen Lamar Jackson statistically decline from his unanimous MVP season, which you all see in 2019, to his 2020 season, to his 2021 season, the Ravens have to revert back to what got them there. As Marcellus Wiley told me, as Magic Johnson told me, what got you here will take you there.
Yeah.
So the Ravens are trying to revert back to what got Lamar Jackson here. Tight ends, kill him between the hashes. So Hollywood Brown is like, hey, that winning formula for Lamar Jackson was a losing formula for me. And it is, in fact, also a losing formula for any big-time receiver, or who Hollywood Brown truly is, any aspiring big-time receiver. So the reason this trade is condemnation on Lamar Jackson is because what is most successful for Lamar Jackson, historically speaking, is damnation for star wide receivers. No star wide receiver wants to play on a team where 1 or 2 tight ends are bigger focal points than them. I don't know that Lamar Jackson can grow into the quarterback we want Lamar Jackson to grow into as long as the Ravens offense is fixated on tight ends and as long as the Ravens offense is fixated on winning and winning between the hashes, because wide receivers will not want to come there and will not want to play there. I'll say this final point. Think about all of the receiver shakeup this offseason. Tyreek Hill goes from Kansas City to Miami. Devontae Adams goes from Green Bay to Las Vegas. Then you have Deebo Samuel, who wants to leave the Niners.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Why ain't anybody asking to play with the unanimous MVP? All the quarterbacks that you can go out here and play with. Devontae Adams, man, let me go play with Carr. Tyreek Hill, shit, let me just go get some money. But nobody's talking about playing with Lamar Jackson. So in the midst of all this game of musical chairs, how come nobody wants to sit down at Lamar Jackson and Greg Roman? How come nobody wants to sit down at their table? To me, that's very damning.
I don't know what receivers were drafted from Louisville because it seemed like Devontae just went back to his college quarterback. We see Marquise Brown going to his college quarterback and everybody else just going to chase the money. So that ain't damning really if you're Lamar Jackson, but I hear you, big dog. Let's not give my man Hollywood Brown a pass because I think you just tried to give him a pass. Hollywood Brown didn't know who they were drafting. Hollywood Brown didn't even care who they were drafting. He already told them he wanted to leave, as I say, quote from my man Peter King, respect. He didn't like the offense. Too conservative, not enough big strikes. And he wanted to be reunited with his boy from college. So this sounds like you know how it goes. Once you get into the offseason, you start looking around. Man, what happened, man? Man, shoot. Man, they ain't even give me the rock to sing. Even though you had career numbers in terms of yards. But then his yards per reception, I give him that, went down. And he had his fewest touchdowns. So he's looking around, forgetting that he got drops everywhere. 15 drops, tied for 11th in the NFL since he's been in the NFL. But we ain't going to talk about our warts. We're going to talk about all the stuff that makes us feel good and look good. So he's looking around like this offense sucks. And then the conversation shifts. But is my quarterback better than this offense? And that's where the indictment comes. I love when people say, man, in the middle of a conversation, you know I love you, right? That's when I pause. Just like Andre say, if you say real talk, I probably don't trust you. You only say I love you, and I love this when your love is already in question. They bring it up right when they know that they doubting your love and their love for you in that moment. You ain't got to give Lamar Jackson any comfort in this moment. He knows what you said. He knows that if you don't trust Greg Roman, that's one thing, but you don't trust me, that's a whole different conversation. Please don't couple those two the same. So now we get into what the NFL really is. You told me that the NFL is about you shifting and adjusting and having counters to whatever you're doing. I like to say basically the NFL is going to always ask you one question. How strong are your weaknesses? Don't tell me how strong you are. Don't tell me your strengths. How strong are your weaknesses? The things you can't do. How good can you do them? Because if not, we got a problem. You're looking at Lamar Jackson, and I'm tired of people damning him, and we might have to start fighting up here because I love you. Is the fact that, see, I'm sick. Is the fact that people look at Lamar Jackson like he's in total decline. What he is doing is fighting a system that is trying to take him back and regression, and he's still trying to progress. Only thing that stopped Lamar Jackson last year from putting up career numbers was injury, not even this system. You don't believe me? Ask Hollywood Brown and his career numbers he put up last year.
Here's the problem, no-sell. Your actions speak so loud, I can't hear what you're telling me.
I heard that before.
And Hollywood's departure from Baltimore is speaking volumes about Lamar Jackson because Hollywood does not want to put his NFL life in Lamar Jackson's hands.
I caught that.
Hollywood Brown is coming upon year 4. Y'all know what year 4 means for first-round picks. It means it's time to potentially re-up and or pick up that 5th-year option.
Let's eat.
So Hollywood is looking around like Tyreek just got $100+ million. Stephon just got $100+ million. Devontae just got $100+ million. Deebo about to get $100+ million. A.J. Brown just got $100+ million. It's time for me to get my $100+ million. Well, who's going to get me that? Lamar Jackson. Hollywood doesn't want to put his football life in Lamar Jackson's hands. I don't care what anybody says. Your actions speak. Sel, the good thing about this show for me, every day I come into this seat knowing that you are here, true story, I'll be honest with you.
Real talk.
I know I can put my television life in your hands. I've been on this show, different times, different cats, and I'm like, yo, they just ain't come with it. But I know one thing about Marcellus Wiley. Every single day, rain, snow, sun, whatever in between, he gonna come with it. He gonna come with his takes every single day because I know this much. I am not independent of you on this show, and you're not independent of me. I gotta trust you. You gotta trust me. We gotta make TV magic.
Yep.
Hollywood Brown knows for me to ball, for me to get this $100+ million, I gotta trust Lamar Jackson. My football life is completely dependent on Lamar Jackson. So for Hollywood to want out at this junction in time, it's not just about Greg Roman. It is about Greg Roman, but it's not just about Greg Roman. It, too, is about Lamar Jackson, regardless of what Hollywood says.
It is. I agree. It's about Lamar. And it's unfair to Lamar because Lamar is caught in this predicament. I don't know if this happened to you growing up, and I wonder what you would do if this was a reality. Tell me if it's true. Your best friend lives in a bad neighborhood. Bad neighborhood. Do you still go see him? I mean, a neighborhood you shook to go into, but it's your best friend. Do you still mess with him? Of course you do, right? I mean, if anybody contemplating it, we got to talk. Because you know what's crazy? Lamar's stuck in a bad neighborhood. We get it. Greg Roman's offense in passing, once top 10, Baltimore Ravens. We get it. This ain't going to work out probably. But Marquise, didn't you just ball? Didn't you just have 1,000 yards? Yes, you did. What are you talking about? You can't make this even better. Getting those tight ends will help you if you complement those tight ends with the deep playability. What he forgot is when they ran the tight end offense, Marquise Brown was dropping everything.
He was.
And then now they're not running that offense. You get your 1,000 yards, and then you want to abandon it and use the cushion of the tight ends may be the issue. Man, won't you work with the tight ends? And that may open up the field even more so for you.
The question that everybody got to ask themselves, Lamar Jackson, whether you love him or Lamar Jackson, whether you hate him, is this. It's the chicken or the egg question.
Let's go.
Did we create the Greg Roman offense for Lamar Jackson because it was best suited for Lamar Jackson? Or is Greg Roman holding Lamar Jackson back? Because if we created Greg Roman's offense around Lamar Jackson because that was what Lamar Jackson's abilities were best suited for, then you can't be mad at Hollywood Brown. But keep in mind, under Greg Roman's offense, Lamar Jackson was a unanimous MVP. So we can't fully blame Greg Roman's offense. But two, keep this in mind. If receivers are out here having career years under Aaron Rodgers, career years under Josh Allen, career years under Derek Carr in that offense, then you look at what Lamar Jackson got going, you're like, ugh, I don't want nothing to do with that. Because you could play with guys like Rodgers, Allen, Rodgers and LaFleur, Allen and Daboll at the time, Carr and John Gruden, and we know what he's supposed to be as an offensive wizard. Or you can play with Lamar and Rowan. So I'm not even mad.
Why are you not mad
at Hollywood Brown?
I am.
Because it's truly on either Lamar or Roman or both.
I thought you were about social justice.
Okay, talk to me.
They convicting the wrong man. Y'all convicting Lamar Jackson like he doing something. Let's go back into late August, early September. What was the most injured team in the NFL going into the season?
Ravens.
Did y'all see J.K. Dobbins?
No, sir, we did not.
Gus Edwards?
No, sir, we did not.
Oh, man, did we want to talk about Staley and that? Let's stop. Most injured team, and they still were balling. Then they lose Lamar Jackson, and it starts to fall apart. Okay. Now, Marquise Brown, through all of that, has his first 1,000-yard season without all the tight end production to the same level, without the offense looking so stagnant, even though it's Lamar Jackson for most of the season, and then he gets injured. And now you want to leave? Instead of, wait a minute, everybody's coming back healthy. Lamar's here. Lamar was on pace to have some career numbers. I had my best season. Where you going, big dog? That's the question I can't answer. Not logically, not sensibly. Where you going? You look at this situation, it's going to be primed for a better tomorrow. But he's leaving to go somewhere else. He got 6 games till Hopkins comes back. Then what is he, 3rd, 4th on the depth chart? We'll see how it plays out. Hopefully he can eat. Come on.